How you doing? My name is Ashley Shabazz, and I want to tell you about my very first pregnancy and how I didn't even know I was pregnant. I was 16 years old, and I was in my junior year of high school. 2002 was like the craziest year for me. January 2002, I started taking my physical, and of course, we have to do a pregnancy test because I played softball in my high school. We have to get ready in January for March. So I took my physical, everything was negative. I took my pregnancy test, everything was negative. I was good to go for softball. So February come around, we had a winter break vacation. And my dad paid for me and my twin sister to go to Disney World with my older sister, her husband, and her kids. And went to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Had a blast. I got on every ride. I love roller coasters. Got on everything. Still no sickness, no nothing. Didn't know anything. Still had my normal periods. I was good. March come around, softball season starts. Start playing softball, loving it, sliding on bases, everything. I'm doing everything. Still normal periods, no sickness, anything. My birthday come around May 9th. And I can remember this day, May 9th, 2002, like it was yesterday. My grandma, who stays in Arkansas, calls and wishes me a happy birthday. And this question, it shocked me, and it still shocks me to this day. Her question was to me, after she wished me a happy birthday, "Now, you don't have any kids, do you? You don't got none on the way?" I said, "No, ma'am, I don't have any kids. I don't want any kids. I was all for myself then. wasn't really a kid person." And she said, "Okay, I got to ask you because you at that age." I had just turned 17 years old. And I said, "Okay, no, I don't have any kids." So 2 weeks later, May 20th, the night of May 20th, I was sick. I was real sick. Throwing up everything, bad cramps. I'm talking about the worst cramps I have ever had. And I didn't understand why, because I had already had my menstrual cycle earlier that month. So this kind of threw me off in the end of the month. And I was telling my dad I don't feel good, and I remember him going to buy me some Pepto-Bismol, and I took that, I threw that back up. Nothing was staying down. I remember not sleeping that whole night. The next morning, I woke up and told my dad, "I'm not going to go to school just in case they call you, because I don't feel good. I'm going to go to the doctor." He said, "Okay." At that time, I had my own car. I was driving myself to school, had my license. So I drove myself to the doctor. On my way to the doctor, I was in so much pain. It was like in my lower part of my stomach where I was sitting at. I couldn't even sit still. I was like, "I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'm going to go to the emergency room where I get some quick care." I needed something then. And so I drove myself to the hospital, went through the emergency, and the clerk behind the desk was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to send you to triage." Went to triage. The nurse behind the desk said, "Well, you got to fill out this paperwork. Let me get a copy of your insurance card and your ID." I gave her that. She did that. I filled out the paperwork. She said, "Have a seat." I sat down in the chair waiting, and I couldn't even sit there long. I said, "You know what? Let me get up and walk around in the hallway." I thought in the back of my head, maybe me walking around to ease some of the pain. But I couldn't sit still. So I got up, walked in the hallway, and by the grace of God, for some reason, the nurse behind the desk saw me walking in the hallway. And she came out there and she said, "I could see it in your face. You're not in the right area." I said, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "They sent you to the wrong place. You weren't supposed to come to triage." And I said, "Well, where was I supposed to go? I can't sit down." She said, "Sit in this wheelchair and you need to go labor and delivery." And it didn't just hit me right then. She pushed me down the hallway to labor and delivery. They gave me this gown. She told me to go in the bathroom and change my clothes. So I changed my clothes, and right then in the bathroom, water everywhere. Water rolling down my legs, all on the floor, just a lot of it. And I didn't know. I was scared, panicking, and I couldn't move. I just froze up. I pulled the red cord in the bathroom, and the nurses came in there, and she put me in a wheelchair. She rolled me over there to the bed, told me to lay down. She called the doctor right in, because she could just see I was in pain. And the doctor, as soon as he checked me, he said, "There go the baby head right there." And my mind going blank. I'm going crazy. Here I am, 17 years old in this bed. I'm like, okay, everything is happening all at one time. And next thing you know, they tell me to push. 2 pushes, and my baby girl slid right out. 5 pounds, 7 ounces. 10:30 a.m. in the morning and healthy. And the doctor's like, with you not having any prenatal care, not knowing that you was pregnant, they had to run tests on her, make sure everything was okay, which she did. So when they took the baby away, they did that, and another nurse came in and said, you're still a minor, you're under your dad's insurance, you got to contact your daddy. And I said, oh my God, I was scared, I didn't know what to do, but I called him, and he said, I'm on my way. He didn't know, he really just didn't hear me. He just knew I told him I was in the hospital. He was just so worried about me. He ran up there, him and my sister, and they came up there, and he sat down, and I told him, and he just looked, froze up a little bit, looked at me, and then my sister was like, well, where's the baby? And I said, well, they took her to run some tests on her, but they said they was bringing her right back. And then a big smile just came across my dad's face. Like, he wasn't mad. I just knew he was going to be mad at me, but he wasn't. And they brought the baby in there, and everybody was just happy. That was his first granddaughter. I had all nephews from my older sister. 3 nephews, so everybody was just happy it was a girl, and I was okay, and everybody was okay, and they said the baby was healthy, and it looked like she was 8 months. They really just couldn't tell, but by her weight and the length and everything, and said it looked like she was 8 months. And I was just so scared, and my dad said, well, you got to call him. And I called my boyfriend, told him, and he came, and his family came, and I just thought I was just going to be so prejudged from my family because, that's not what they expected out of me. But when everybody came, everybody was just happy. It was the craziest day of my life.